podcast where we normally fix lives one book at a time, but this time it's going to be a show. I'm your host, Yajaira.
And I'm your host, Cheli. We're fixing lives one episode at a time, actually. Didn't we say that we were going to call every time we do a movie or a show, we would call it book flicks?
Oh, that is so cute.
Right?
We should call it book
So welcome
flicks.
to this
But it's not a book flick because it's not from a book, though. But
book. Oh, you're right. It's when a book is based off of a movie. We'd call it book flicks. This is just book flicks edition. Because it could also be called book flicks because it's Netflix. I don't know. Okay, whatever.
It doesn't matter. We're here gonna talk about Black Mirror. Which,
yeah.
Charlie, do you remember that you were the one who introduced me to Black Mirror? Do you remember when you traumatized me?
Was it me?
Yes, it was you. You were right here in my room, and you were like, "Have you heard of Black Mirror?" And I was like, "No."
Oh
and
my God.
I think you explained to me the first episode, but you still played the first episode.
Thank you. That sounds like something I would do.
Yeah, because it was something that you did. And it just changed my entire life. Yep. I've never been the same since.
I feel so strongly about Black Mirror. I really like and appreciate the people that make it, mostly because they were supposed to release this season back in 2019, but because of COVID, they were like, the world's already as scary as it's going to be, so we're not going to release a season. And they just took like an indefinite like break. And the fact that they just came back it felt out of nowhere. It was just like, yeah, we're back. Here you go. Oh my gosh. I was so excited, but it's been so long since I've seen Black Mirror that it did feel kind of very unnerving. Like you really need to have the stomach for it. You know what I mean?
Seriously. Yeah, you need to be on the right like headspace for it.
So I do recommend if you like thought-provoking shows that have a deep message about society, go watch Black Mirror, because that's the entirety of Black Mirror.
Yeah, but also be prepared for a lot of unhappy endings.
Yes. Yes.
Or bittersweet also. Some of them are bittersweet endings.
Yeah, because this one's a lot that we're going to talk about. We are not going to talk about the first episode of season 6 because Yajaira really wanted to talk about the second episode of season 6.
Yes. I wanted to talk about this one so bad. I feel like there's something to be said about this episode alone. Just based on like, you know, something else that was really popular, but we'll mention that afterwards. Do you want to mention what this episode's about?
Okay, so this episode is called Loch Henry. It's the second episode of the 6th season, and it has to do with our main character, Davis, who is with his girlfriend, Pia, and they're visiting his hometown, which is like in the middle of nowhere. I think a total of like 10 people live in this town. And he is coming back from university and is basically telling his mom, because he's visiting his mom, Janet, that he's going to be making a documentary about this guy and eggs.
Who collects eggs.
Yeah. And that's his big thing. That's like the biggest thing ever. And Pia is there, of course, to support him, but also to meet Janet, his mom. And at their outing in this town, they go to a little bar that's owned by, is it Richard?
Stuart King.
Stuart is the guy, right? I thought Stuart was his dad.
No, Stuart is the friend, no?
Okay, I think so.
Well, Richard is the dad.
Okay, so Stuart's the friend. So they go to this bar owned by Davis's friend, Stuart. And Pia talks about how beautiful this town is, how it's so weird to her that some place as beautiful as this doesn't have any visitors. And it was like,
or any tourists or anything.
Well, the reason it doesn't is because of Ian Adair. And she's like, who the fuck is that? And it's like, how did you not tell her about Ian Adair? Everyone knows about Ian Adair. And it's basically when, I want to say, I'm going to make a guess because of their ages. Around 20-ish years ago, there was this man named Ian Adair who would kidnap and torture tourists and do whatever he wanted with them, like sexual fantasies, torture, like everything with these people, and did not get found out because, you know, people would just go missing. It's a small town. You're not going to ask as many questions. It wasn't until a specific couple went missing where it became kind of like a search, a warrant of a search. And
I think they were from the US.
Yes.
And so this small town, it's called Loch in Scotland.
So when it was figured out that he was torturing people, Davis's dad was actually the one who went on scene to like go stop Ian Adair, and ended up getting shot, but not fatally. He just got shot in the shoulder. But Ian Adair ends up killing the people who were in there along with himself, his parents and himself, before he was caught. And that was just kind of the end of it. And it's funny because this story is shared and Pia's like, what the fuck? Why are we making a documentary about a man and eggs?
A fucking egg.
When you literally have all of this story right here. And it helps too that Stuart, his mom, was super invested in this story. So they have all of the videotapes of like what was on the news at the time. They have all the newspaper clippings. They have everything. So Pia's like, we have all the information. Why don't we do it on this? And that's what this episode becomes. It's them gathering information to make the documentary on Ian Adair and on Loch Henry and this town, just like how fucked up this was.
Yeah.
So did you have any suspicions going into this with anyone?
I just wasn't sure exactly what the direction of the episode was. I tried to avoid any spoilers. I don't really like watching trailers or anything at all because I don't want any indication of what this could be about. So there was a moment in the beginning when Pia is meeting Janet, which is Davis's mom, for the first time. And she has like this whole like VCR collection, and I forgot what the name of this show was. Yeah, and so Pia makes a comment where it's like, damn, she's a big fan. And Davis is like, yeah, it's because my mom really likes whatever the character's name is because of his ass or whatever. So in that moment, I was kind of like, I wonder if there's something on those tapes. But literally, like, I wasn't thinking like, oh, maybe it's, the parents. I was mostly thinking like, oh, maybe, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I figured there was something in the tapes, but I didn't want to like guess too much. I wanted to keep my mind as blank as possible.
I didn't suspect anything out of Janet when she was introduced. And I don't use my brain cells when watching these types of shows because I also don't want to think ahead. But I just thought that
same.
she was as angry as everyone else was about this whole Ian Adair thing because she also didn't like him. So when she figured out that they were making the documentary about this, she was like, you need to tell the truth and make sure everyone knows what that man did to my husband. Which he didn't do much. It was just being shot in the shoulder. But to her, it's like, no, he's the reason that my husband is dead.
And just to point out, Davis's dad didn't necessarily die from the gunshot wound. It was mostly because he contracted like an infection from it.
Yes.
So it wasn't. It did have to do with it, but it wasn't directly from it.
Mm-hmm.
But how did you feel about the way that Pia was reacting? Like, she was so excited about it, and she was even like, can you show me like where it was?
I hated it because it was very insensitive to Davis. Like, this was somewhere where his dad was shot, and it's also like something that he clearly didn't even want to talk about.
Yeah, he wanted to talk about the egg collector. And
I fucking hate the fact that when he was very like hesitant about making this documentary, she was just kind of like, if you don't, I will. It's like, Pia, you don't even you're not from here. Okay, Pia?
You don't even go here, Pia.
So it made me angry that they were like that for a bit. But I think she was a good representation to what the people were at the end of this show. Like, she was showing that I care so much about this that I'm going to make it my entire life. And there was even a point where I'm moving ahead a bit, but there was a point where they were talking to important people who were they were pitching it to someone, and they kept going like, no, it really affects Davis. Someone he knew died in that, actually. And it's like they're trying to make it.
They had to paint it that way though, because the movie producer, documentary producer, whatever she was like, well, I mean, this person isn't as big as like
Ted Bundy.
Thank you. I was like, who was it? Who was the example? Yeah. So she was like, he's not as big as Ted Bundy. So there's nothing really that you have to offer. Like, what's the angle here? And so they try to make it seem like, well, I mean, Davis's dad died, not necessarily like, you know, by like, like through the torture, but you know,
no, but
kind of
I thought it was interesting that was brought up, even though that wasn't true. But it became a reality, and it wasn't a reality that either of them wanted to be a part of. Mostly Pia, because I feel like Pia kept viewing this as like this is content. That when it got to the point where she saw, because with the Bergerac films, they were using those VHS tapes to film the torture rooms. Like they went and borrowed the VCR or the VHS tape, and they went there and filmed the torture rooms. But they had to film over the episodes of Bergerac.
So they broke in.
Yeah, they did break in. And I was so scared, dude. I did not.
Just to make it clear. Okay. Just to make it clear, it was Pia, Davis, and Stuart. Like the three of them were doing this together, and they broke in, and they were filming it with those tapes.
Yes. So when all of them broke in, I was so scared. I didn't know the direction this episode was going. I, for some reason, thought one of them was still going to be alive. Like, I thought someone was in there.
I was like, he's in there. He's a zombie. I don't know. I was so scared. I didn't know what was going to happen either. So when they ended up in the car again, like when they were driving, I was like, wait, what is happening? I'm so confused.
Yeah. And then Davis ended up getting in a little accident with Richard, which is Stuart's dad. But everyone was fine. He just had a hospital overnight stay. So Pia ends up going back home.
No, it wasn't Richard. Richard was already in the hospital. Remember he fell down the stairs or something?
Oh, you're right. I thought it was, for some reason I thought they hit him. But
no. The person that hit them, I think, was drunk or something.
Okay. But I know that Pia ends up going home because she didn't get hurt. So she's staying with Janet, and she's working on the film and is on the Bergerac tape where they were filming on. And it's very unsettling because at this moment, Davis is at the hospital, and Richard goes up to him and he's like, you need to stop filming this. Like you can't keep filming this. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well,
like stop digging pretty much.
He's like, well, there's something that you don't know. And I'm not sure. I was never positive. You know, he's kind of like hinting at something. And it goes back to Pia. Yeah. And she's doing yoga. Like she's stretching because she's seen these videos, you know. And it ends with, after they finished recording, you can see the rest of the Bergerac show that they had. But then that cuts off. And all of a sudden, you see a video of Ian Adair, right? That was him?
Yeah, so they were filming him. And it was like a conversation between a man and, you know, the guy who was convicted for the killings.
Yes.
And then the camera gets handed to Ian Adair, and then it turns and it is on Kenneth, which is Davis's dad. And he just like goes behind the couch where the couple is like tied up. And I forgot what he was saying, but he was just saying like something like, oh, we're going to have fun here, whatever. And then introducing Janet, and Janet, you know, his wife, Davis's mother, comes in, and it's like so unsettling because she's like fucking dancing around. She has a little like tool in her hand, and she's like, I think she's wearing like a nurse's outfit with like a masquerade mask.
Yep.
But you can tell it's her, and you can't really see what happens, but you just hear the device like drilling, and you hear the couple screaming. So Pia's like freaking out because she's realizing, oh my God, wait, it was actually fucking Davis's parents who were also involved in these murders.
And it sucks too because she realizes this while Janet is also home. So she's freaking out, and Janet doesn't understand why. So like she keeps like pushing Pia to like eat. You have to make sure, how are you? How's the filming going? And then Pia gets really scared and is like, you know what? I'm just going to go to the restroom. And she goes to the restroom. And at that time, I think Janet goes to the room and realizes that they were using the Bergerac VHS tape. So she kind of puts two and two together and is like, shit.
No, she did that when Pia left. Remember, Pia went to the restroom, but then she came out and she was like, I need to go for a walk. And so she goes outside. And so she leaves. And that's when Janet runs upstairs and she sees that she was watching the film.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of scary, too, because these films, they were in plain sight. Like, Janet didn't hide them. They were just out. So,
and she also had like a little memento box too. Like she went into her room and pulled out a box and there was like Polaroid pictures in there. There was like other shit in there too. So it's like, these are fond memories for her, you know? So it's like, it's almost like these are her trophies. Like even the VHS tapes that were all out in the open.
Yep. Pia runs away and Janet gets into her car and starts to chase her. But Pia does end up getting away. But it sucks because she's in the... Like, she's walking the river bed, I guess, and she missteps and falls and hits her head on a rock. So it's automatically death. Like, Pia just dies. And to Janet, it's like, oh my God, she got away. I can't fucking believe she got away. And she gets really angry and she's like cursing in the sky, but just ends up going home. She gathers all of the evidence and puts it in a pile and puts a note on top of it. And then she ends up unaliving herself.
Yeah. So, she left all of the evidence on a table for Davis.
Mm-hmm. Did it show the note yet at this point?
No, it doesn't show it till the end.
Okay. So it sucks because this all happened in the freaking night that no one can reach Davis. Like, he's just in the hospital overnight. So the episode ends with like
time has passed by and now we're actually seeing like the trailer to the documentary for Loch Henry, and we see that he won a BAFTA award, I believe it was.
Yes. And
so obviously like the lady who was in charge of the streaming service, Streamberry, I think.
Yes.
She's up on like accepting it. Well, they're all up there, and even Davis is up there too. And she's like super like, "Oh my God, thank you so much!" Like obviously to her, it's just like whatever. But anytime the camera would cut to Davis, you can obviously see that he's like fucking holding back tears, like he's just like not even really there.
And it sucks too because everyone at this event is treating it so like surface level. So they're like talking shit about each other and then saying hi, like, oh my gosh, I love you. You're so good in this movie. You know, we're going to make a dramatization about this later and we need a good Pia. So just keep an ear out. And it's like, oh God, that's a real person.
And he's just kind of there like, like he's just there like, what the fuck? Like, and even when he gets back to the hotel room, like Stuart calls him and is all like I think he's congratulating him, but he's also like, oh my God, this place has never been so busy before because now Loch Henry is, you know, filled with tourists.
Yep.
And he's still like talking, but Davis just hangs up and he pulls out the note that his mom had left it for him. And it just says, "For your film, Mom." And he's just left there alone. And he's staring at the little like trophy.
Yes. Which is,
but like obviously it's completely meaningless. Yeah, I know. I was like, damn, it would be that.
It's crazy because it goes back, or I think back to the point where Pia was like, yeah, his dad was involved. His dad got shot. And it's like, they were trying so hard for him to be part of the story, to have an angle. But now he's completely part of this story. And it sucks.
I know. And it sucks because he didn't even want this. And that's what makes me so upset. It's like, it's not even something that he was like, you know what, I'm going to go out and tell this story. It's like he only really did it because both Pia and Stuart were like, well, this is so, you know, this is so interesting. And everyone should know about what happened here. And it's like, if he would have just done what he wanted, which was go with that egg collector, none of this would have happened.
I know, but in a way too, like all of this happening benefited everyone else in the world except for himself.
But not him.
Except for himself.
Yeah. The reason why I really wanted to talk about this one specifically was because it's so relevant to how big like the true crime community is, especially nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And more specifically with the way that Dahmer was made on Netflix, you know? And it made everyone upset, rightfully so, because of the way that they were telling the stories of the victims.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it just makes me so sad because people get so into these like stories because they view them as stories, but these are actual events that people went through. And sometimes people do get really upset when you tell a story because at times you're not even telling it right.
I know.
Or you weren't there, so how could you possibly know what really happened?
And even with like the Dahmer story, I know that people got very emotionally attached to some of the victims. And they like assume like, you know, I know everything about this victim because, you know, I love true crime and I looked up all the facts. It's like, yeah, but you need to realize that they also have families that are still alive, that some were not happy with this show coming out. And
oh, yeah, most of them were not. Like it had such bad reception from the victims' families that I'm surprised that they're making a second season.
They are?
Yeah, but every season is going to be a different story. So the second season is going to be from the Menendez brothers.
Oh, okay. I get it. That's still so
Yes.
stupid, though. Like, it's weird that we're in this type of society that kind of idolizes these types of situations.
Or these types of murderers, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah, it definitely exploits these people's suffering, and it just sucks, especially because, like I said, it's so like prevalent now. Like true crime is such a big community right now.
Yeah, it's weird how big it got because it wasn't big when we were younger. It was things that happened.
Well, I mean, there were like shows that would play on TV. Like I don't really remember them, but was it the? Oh my God, I can't remember. What, the Hotline one? No. I can't remember what it was called, but there was one that was really big on TV that would reenact the stories. I don't know if you remember it.
No, I don't remember it. But I wasn't as into it when I was younger. And I still am not as into it either. Like, I know a few things, but I do know people who's like, everything they consume is true crime. Every single thing. Yeah. All the time. And I'm just kind of like, oh, that seems like a lot. I don't think I can handle that.
Yeah, I don't think I can handle that either. But I mean, I think in a way it is important to tell some of these stories, but it also matters the way that you do it.
Yeah, because I feel like with these types of stories, it was interesting seeing the viewpoint of like people reacting to it. Because like you said, they react to it as if it is just a story without giving consideration to the people that are affected. And that's where the issue starts. Because even with Davis, no one ever took the time to ask him if he was doing okay or to ask him if he even wanted to do this. Pia pushed him towards it and Stuart did too. And he just is now stuck with, I made this and it affected my life in a shitty way. And he's probably not getting any help. He's probably not getting any counseling because no one is asking him if he needs it.
Yeah, I mean, he literally has no one. It sucks because I feel like even though he does have Stuart doesn't really like see it in the way that Davis does. Yeah. Because he's obviously reeking of the benefits of, you know, having tourists in his pub.
And in a way,
which is great. But,
in a way, Davis and Pia did tell Stuart, like, this is what they wanted. And it sucks.
So they got that part.
Yep. They got what they wanted. So. Yeah, it's a shame. Oh my gosh. It's Black Mirror does this a lot where it kind of just makes you sit back and like realize like, damn, it's kind of shitty out here.
Damn, life kind of sucks. Damn. Yeah, it's just depressing. And then also like that whole scene of the with the mom and the dad and Ian Adler or Ader.
Yeah.
When they were torturing that couple, like that scene was just so unsettling.
I couldn't watch it.
And then also You never see. Well, I mean, you don't. It's not that explicit or anything. It's just
not,
the
but I
screaming.
couldn't watch it.
No, I don't blame you. But also like you never really see Eon or
Yeah,
however you say his name.
Ian Adler.
Actually, like, yeah, him. I'm wondering like if he actually ever killed anybody or if it was just a couple.
And he was just
Like
a part
that's
of
what
it.
yeah, like he was just because he seemed very like weak-willed when he was being filmed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's just something that I was thinking about. I was like, what if they just framed him?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that he's innocent because obviously he knew about it and he was there, but
I mean,
he didn't seem like he
did shoot the husband
oh,
multiple
right.
times. So it could have been like, you threw me under the bus.
You bitch.
It was very unsettling. I thought the entire unaliving scene was very unsettling.
Oh my god. I couldn't believe that she did that though, because I seriously assumed that she would just like get rid of everything and then maybe like hurt Pia or something. I don't know what I expected.
But she was a very proud person. I think her initial reaction was to hurt Pia. But because Pia got away, it's like, okay, well, this story's going to be told anyway. Gonna look at my things one last time.
Yeah, because I don't think she knew that Pia had like fallen and ended up, dying. But I mean, she was looking at these like mementos like very fondly. So it's like, what the fuck? Like she obviously like still reminisces on these moments, but I wonder, did she feel any remorse? Like any remorse at all?
So because even before she figured out that Pia had seen that part of the film, when they were eating dinner together and Pia saw the face mask on the wall, she was like, yeah, my husband gave that to me. He's just a silly guy. It's like, oh my God. Like the fact that you can look at that and not freak out,
Wait, there was another moment too. Didn't she make a comment about like, oh, I'm not used to being recorded with like this type of equipment or whatever?
Yeah, and then Avis made that comment that was like, well, Dad never recorded you for broadcast. And then she says like, oh, well, imagine like that. And then that was the winning line. Like
that was literally like so unsettling. Like, damn. I almost feel like she was kind of like proud to have this secret that nobody knew about.
Yep. That's so crazy. I can't believe.
I wonder if they would have kept like doing this, like torturing and murdering people, even after like Ian got caught. You know what I mean? Like, would they just do it alone as a duo?
They might have if it weren't for the fact that he had gotten sick. And that was probably, I feel like that was a genuine hate for Ian. I think she did actually blame Ian for the death of like the husband.
Because this bitch died, and so my fund's gone now.
So I don't know. It's such a weird episode. Not what I expected out of a Black Mirror episode. I'll be honest. Like this isn't what I expected out of the season. It was good, but damn, it was so dark. It usually is.
It was really dark. It just made me feel so bad for Davis because he just looked so like literally like the whole time at the end he just had tears in his eyes. Like he just looked like he was ready to burst into tears at any moment. And then when he was finally alone, he just started crying, and I just felt so bad for him.
I mean, he lost it all, but also gained it all at the same time.
Yeah, but he doesn't want it. And then it also sucks that as a response of the popularity of the documentary, now it's like, oh, well, now we're going to do a show about it. And I don't even think he has a say on whether or not, like, he could give permission for that, Yeah,
and it sucks, too, because with things like this, like when it concerns real life, I feel like the victims who are part of it lose so much freedom. Like you lose everything because everyone wants to know about you, but you definitely don't want to talk about it because it's so traumatizing. But that's out of your control.
I know.
That would suck to have to like relive your memory in multiple ways.
I feel like eventually he would just have to like distance himself from it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, that's what people always do. Like people, like I think about how, what was it? When Selena had passed and the family distanced themselves, but then they started making money off of it again and opened a museum. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to stay away from it.
Yeah, because it's like your whole life.
It is, sadly.
Yeah, it really does suck. But I mean, I feel like it's very like bittersweet because it did help out the town, I guess. But like Cheli said, it helped everyone but Davis.
Yep. Oh, sucks. What were your overall thoughts of this episode? If you had to rate it out of 5.
Oh my God. I loved this episode so much. Like, it just made me so sad. It's so funny that you say that it didn't feel like a Black Mirror episode because it did feel like one to me. Because I already knew. I was like, whatever happens, I know I'm going to be sad in this episode. And I was really sad. And I just, like I mentioned, this just is very relevant to what's happening today, especially with Dahmer on Netflix. Not Netflix calling themselves out. That's so funny. I don't know what I would rate it. I feel like I would rate it pretty high though, because I this is the type of episode where I think I would like tell people to watch it so that we can all cry together.
Have you seen the whole season? I think I would give it like a 4.
No, I've only seen the first 2 episodes.
Okay. It's funny. We're gonna like.
I'm
gonna finish editing this episode, and you're like, "Hold your horses. We got to talk about the third one."
I heard the third one's really good.
Really? Oh my gosh.
That's what I heard, but it's longer than the first 2. I think it's like an hour 20.
I need to sit down and watch it. I never even saw the Black Mirror episode that was like a choose your own adventure.
Oh my God, dude. So I tried, but I just got so upset because I kept getting like a reaction that I didn't want. So I know that there's like a bunch of different endings, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't get to it.
I need to do it. I need to go through it.
I thought you did. I thought you did get through one of the endings.
I can't remember. If I did, it was with a friend. But
maybe.
This was a Black Mirror episode. It's just, it's been so long, dude. I don't remember. Like, when I think about Black Mirror, I think about the episodes with, like, you remember the girl and the ratings? Like, he had to give ratings to people. I think about the Junipero episode. Oh, yeah. I think about episodes like that. I think
about Shut Up and Dance.
Yes. So, oh, God. But it was just so weird coming back to it after so long. I do think I want to binge watch the show again because I really do love Black Mirror. I like this episode, but I'm excited for the rest of season 6. I think I would give this episode, because I haven't seen the other ones, I'm going to say also a 4. I'm just going to keep it at a 4 because it was really good. I do have to sit down and watch it again during the daytime.
You're going to see the third episode. You're going to come back and be like, I just saw a masterpiece, so I will take this 4 and give it a 2. No other comment necessary.
Thank you. That is going to be me. Dude, I really appreciate that Black Mirror is so big on like making commentary even when it's at the expense of themselves. You know, because they are also the issue. They are the media, you know?
Yeah.
So it is.
Yeah, definitely.
It's interesting to see that they're so willing to do that. I hope the writers have a really good time making these episodes.
I hope so, because these are really depressing. You know what other episode fucked me up too, but I cannot remember the title of it.
Which one?
It's the one where the puppet becomes the president. You remember that one?
The puppet becomes the president. I don't think I do. Explain it a little more.
It's like, I don't really remember it much. I just remember that this guy had a puppet. And I think he would just make like YouTube videos or something, or like some sort of videos. And it was like a commentary, but he was very vulgar because that was like his character. But he himself, like, he wasn't like really as I guess vulgar or outspoken as the puppet was. And then the puppet got so popular that, you know, people started following the puppet and they were like, oh my God, this puppet for president. And so the puppet becomes the president because, like, I think somebody steals the puppet from him or something. So now it's like its own thing. And it just like fucked me up. I was like, I can't believe that this puppet would become president, but of course he would. Of course he would. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I do remember the episode. It's called the Waldo moment.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That one was pretty good. There's some episodes, I don't know if you feel the same way, where like watching them once is good. I'm good. I don't need to see it again.
That's how I feel about the first episode, the one with the pig.
Although you watched it with me, so technically you watched it twice.
It's because I needed you to watch it. I needed to get you on this bus bad. Of watching Black Mirror, and I'm glad that I did that.
Do you remember when you played it for me? You were like, really? I just want to get through the first episode, but we need to get to episode 2.
Yes, I do remember that.
You were just like, this one isn't the good one. We're going to see the second one, and it'll be so much better.
Oh my gosh. I really like the episode, the video game one. The one with the VR. And like you can feel whatever they feel.
Yeah, that one was good. Oh, the newer one.
Yeah, the newer one. I really like that episode.
Why do you like that episode so much?
It was wild. Suspicious. Oh my God.
Suspicious. Do you think that's cheating?
Yes.
So just to give a little context, just like a tiny context, pretty much like you would put on like VR. So you have your own character, but like Cheli said, you would feel whatever your character was feeling, like actually like on your body. And so these two friends started playing like together, like a fighting game, but then they would have sex with each other through the game. And one of them had a whole wife and a whole family. So that one was good. That one was really good. I just sometimes think like, is that technically cheating? I mean, he's feeling it.
Yeah. It was weird. It was a lot. But I do recommend everyone watch Black Mirror. It is fucking life-changing. I think we're done. Thank you so much for everyone who was listening to us in audio form, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on. Thank you. If you want to leave a rating of 5 stars and a review, that'd be amazing. And if you want to tell your loved ones, friends, family, anyone about us, that would be great too, because the best type of exposure is through word of mouth. If you are watching us on YouTube, hello. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we post every Tuesday and Thursday. It's weird to be back. It's weird to be on a normal schedule, but I'm so glad. I'm so glad. For the next few episodes, it's just every Black Mirror episode.
No.
Imagine. We become the Black Mirror podcast.
We change our name. I feel like it would be definitely interesting because there's a lot to say about literally all of the episodes, but maybe we also need a Black Mirror break.
Maybe we can just give little updates at the beginning of our episodes just to show how far we've come. I'll let you know when I go through the whole choose your own adventure one again.
Okay. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what ending you get.
What if they want to support us a little more?
So we did start a Patreon, and we had so many things that we wanted to do on there. But for right now, it really just serves as a way for our listeners to, give us a little extra love if you want to, if you can. No pressure. You can find us on patreon.com/bookfix.
Thank you. And if you want to follow us on social media, we do have a TikTok at The Book Fix, THEBOOKFIX. And we also have an Instagram at The Book Fix Pod, THEBOOKFIXPOD. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you.
And we will see you later.
Bye.
Dude. We don't talk about how much we film, but we did a lot.
We did a lot today. Today, we decided, we woke up and chose content.
Yeah, we really did.
We have been up since, 10:30? It's 4. And that's how long we've been filming, pretty much.
I know. It's nice, though. It's been This is the first time that we have filmed this consistently. And I feel nice because I don't know if you feel the same way. When we have like these episodes already lined up, it's like, okay, I have 2 weeks to catch up with other readings. Like that's how I think of it. Like, okay, I have time.
Yes,
I have time.
that's how I think about it too. Like it gives me these 2 weeks to focus on the next batch that we're gonna do.
That's why.
So I'm excited and I'm happy that we did this.
Yeah, I hope that we catch up with our batch quickly so that we can have. We had it before where we were so caught up that it just made life easy.
I know, literally. We were literally like, what was it, like February? I'm just gonna give an example. We were literally in February. We had like filmed up to like fucking April.
Yeah.
Mid-April. I don't even remember.
Yeah, we were so far ahead and it made it so much easier. But,
or it might have been like 3 months ahead because at that time we were only filming once a week.
Yeah.
So it might have been like May. It was like a good like, oh my god, this paletero, really?
Wait, tell him to wait. I got money.
Wait, I think it's the El Botero actually. Wait.
That's better. Call it back.
I gotta go, guys. Bye.